What's up, folks? It's good to be back. And this weather is awful. I mean, I'm based in Hong Kong now, and it's just been nonstop rain, thunderstorms, typhoons. I mean, that's July and August for you. But yeah, it's good to be back. I was on holiday last week with my family. Great trip. Spent quite a lot of quality time with my family. My brother just came back from the US, and he just graduated from university. So yeah, we hung out a lot. Stayed out a bit too late for me, and my sleep routine was all messed up. Food also all messed up. And then I ended up coming back and got a bit of a gut issue. So that inspired me to talk about today's topic, gut health. This is something that I've been looking into quite a bit recently over the last couple of months, and I've actually learned so much about gut health. And it's quite shocking to me that this is not taught in school. And funnily enough, a lot of health things aren't talked about in school anyway, apart from do more exercise. But you realize no one teaches you nutrition in school. And yeah, I think it's really important. I think there should be some basic nutrition class. I know back when I was in, I can't even walk outside. It's crazy in terms of rain, so I'm just going to keep walking back and forth. But when it comes to nutrition, I remember back in middle school, we had food and textiles. And obviously back then we didn't know what it was, so we were just messing around in class. But thinking about it now, I wish they took nutrition, food, science more seriously, because you are what you eat. And apart from sleep, nutrition is probably the most important thing when it comes to recovery. And those two go hand in hand. A lot of people go, oh, which one's more important? Nah, they're both important, and you need both. Sleep, nutrition, exercise. I call it the holy trinity. So I bang on a lot about sleep, but let's talk about nutrition today and how it impacts your gut health, okay? Because colorectal diseases are on the rise right now. The Hong Kong government are putting out ads for people to do colorectal screening, so your gastroscopy, your endoscopies, and we're finding that a lot more people are having issues with their colon, small intestine, large intestine, everything. Everything in the stomach region is related to gut health. And 70% of your nervous system is actually in your gut. That's what the research is showing now. And I think a lot of people actually knew this, but it's never really been talked about that much. Everyone thinks, oh, well, immune system. Yeah, we need to make sure our immune system's good by eating well, get more vitamin C. That's the standard advice, right? But what's not talked about is how important your gut is and how it affects not just your nervous system, your immune system, but so many other things. Pretty much most things can be related to your gut, actually. And have y'all ever maybe paid attention to how your gut feels, how it is responding? Sorry, I shouldn't say responding, how your gut health is and how it correlates with everything else, i.e. your mental health, your mood, your skin, injuries, sicknesses, etc. Well, it's only struck me recently that, hey, there seems to be a correlation. And I noticed that for the first time in many, many years, my gut health is actually good. And my mental health, therefore, is better. I'm able to tackle things better, handle adversity better, emotionally regulate better. On top of that, I've never really had the world's best skin. It would flare up quite easily, especially depending on what I eat. Obviously, I found out later on that I'm actually very sensitive to dairy and very lactose intolerant. And that's probably a big reason why I broke out. So when I was in Japan, I knew I had a little bit of cheese, but I'm guessing I must have had a bit of dairy here and there, because the symptoms that came up when I got my flare-up back in Hong Kong were very aligned with the issues I had previously when I would consume lactose. So I would have really bad bloating. I would feel really fatigued, very tired, didn't really want to do anything. My mood would be, I would be quite down, and it was just a struggle to do things. So obviously I've cut out dairy, but now that my gut health is better, I've noticed, wow, I feel so much better. But on top of that, the new thing that I learned this week is that there is what we call a gut-skin axis as well. So the gut-brain axis is very well researched now. People are starting to talk about how it really affects your brain, etc. They're very connected. But the gut-skin axis is something I've just recently heard about. And there's a dermatologist on YouTube called, I think, Dr. K. She talks about it, and she says how actually your skin is really affected by your gut. So this is the first time I've actually put that 2 and 2 together. When my skin breaks out, that probably means my gut's not doing very well. And obviously vice versa as well. My gut's not doing well. Sorry, it is vice versa. When my gut's not doing well, chances are my skin's not gonna do well. And I started breaking out. I haven't broken out in months because my gut health has been so good. And that's when I connected the dots together and thought, so obviously my skin routine has improved, but a large reason behind why I get acne breakouts or my skin starts to flush and get really red and dry is probably due to gut health. So coming back to Hong Kong, I immediately dialed down on it again, made sure my fiber intake was high enough because in Japan I barely ate enough fiber. Food was great, but it's just not healthy compared to what I eat at home. Now, obviously, Japanese cuisine is generally already healthier than most, which goes to show food in the US, if you're eating out all the time, yeah, it's terrible for your gut. There's so many things that are terrible for your gut, like processed meats, very sodium-heavy meals, fried food. These all cause inflammation. For certain people, dairy, gluten, you need to identify these trigger foods that cause you inflammation. And it's really important to do so. But the one thing that everyone can do more of is eat more fiber. And that's something I want to stress about today. If there's anything you get out of this video is everyone needs more fiber. And the recommendation for fiber is insanely high. I'm saying for men, it's 30 to 40 grams a day. And for women, it's 20 to 30 grams a day. Now, when I say that, pretty much everyone, including myself back then, goes, what does that even mean? What is 20 to 40 grams of fiber? Like, what does that entail? And it's very difficult to actually explain because when it comes to protein, it's really easy. You just go, well, one fist size is probably going to be about 20 to 30 grams of proteins, maybe even a bit more, depending on the meat. Whereas with fiber, it's super confusing. Like, what even constitutes 10 grams of fiber? And the easiest reference point I can make is using oats. So 100 grams of oats, depending on which one. So either instant oats or rolled oats. Instant will get you about, I think, 10 to 11 grams of fiber, whereas rolled oats will get you about 11 to 12 grams of fiber. 100 grams of oats is a lot though, raw oats. So for a guy, that would be about one sitting of breakfast. So yeah, it's not easy to eat, and that's why you have to make sure you really consciously put an effort to increase your fiber intake. Oats, one of the best sources. It also decreases cholesterol as well. It's also very low GI, so low glycemic index. I've talked about GI, I'm not going to talk about it today. So it's low GI, gives you that constant release. It also doesn't spike your blood sugars. So I would definitely put that as a staple. I have that every breakfast or almost every breakfast. And I used to eat quite a bit of white bread pre-runs, post-runs, but you know what? I'm not an elite athlete, so I'm not here to really try and optimize and become the world's best athlete. What's more important to me is health now. So I've swapped out pretty much all my bread for wheat bread. That gets you a lot more fiber as well. I also sometimes throw in chia seeds or chia seeds, however you pronounce it, into my oats. That also gives me extra fiber and it also gives me good fats. Now I don't just eat white rice, but I also eat brown rice. So I mix it in with the white rice. That gives me extra fiber as well. And that's pretty much how you do it. You got to find ways. Now, a lot of people go, oh, well, if I just need to get 30 to 40 grams or eat more fiber, should I just eat more vegetables? Well, good luck trying to do that, because I think if you, per 100 grams of vegetables, obviously it depends on which one, but most of it will only get you a couple of grams of fiber. So it's nearly impossible, pretty much impossible. I think it was like, you need to eat 1 kilo of peas in order to get close to 20 to 30 grams. So yeah, vegetables aren't going to be enough. You're going to have to find it from other sources. Now, that doesn't therefore mean don't eat your fruits and vegetables. They're very important for gut health as well. So when it comes to gut health, we can talk about gut microbiome. That's probably the easiest way to explain to people what gut health entails. So what exactly is your gut microbiome? Now, I'm not a gastroenterologist. They'll be able to go much deeper into detail with this, but all you simply need to know is the balance between good and bad bacteria. There's millions and millions of bacteria in your gut, and the idea is that you want the good bacteria to outweigh the bad bacteria. That way it allows you to fight off infections, it allows you to have good health, overall health. The problem now is because of all this processed stuff we eat, ultra processed foods, sugar's terrible. That really feeds bad bacteria. You end up having a much bigger balance of, a much more bad bacteria compared to good. And that's how you end up with colorectal diseases such as Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, IBD, irritable bowel diseases. I think Crohn's is part of it. Ulcerative colitis. I'm sure y'all have heard of these things. That's when it gets really serious. I think ulcerative colitis, you don't recover from. So once you get it, that's it. So I'm not a gastroenterologist, okay? I'm not a medical professional, so I don't talk about diseases and whatnot. I'm just talking about how to have better health. But the last thing you want is one of these, because if your gut health is not good, everything else goes, okay? So I wish more people spoke about this. Sorry, it's a bit hectic. Now I kind of lost my train of thought. There's just so many things to talk about. And I know this is a bit confusing, so I apologize. But yeah, it's really important for me to talk about this. So, fruits and vegetables. When it comes to gut microbiome, the things that you can do to improve it would be increase your prebiotics and probiotics. So prebiotics would be your fibre, which is what I talked about, and then your probiotics. So how do we get that? Through fermented foods. A lot of people say, well, why don't you just take a supplement? And yes, I do that. I do take probiotics, but research has shown that it's not as helpful as people make it out to be. And oftentimes, a lot of the bacteria dies before it even reaches your colon, simply because, actually, I don't even know why. All I know is that it does. So I think it just dies before it reaches it, and it just can't live. So the best thing you can do is eat more fermented foods. So the classics would be sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, yogurt. They have live bacteria, and because I think they're engulfed with food, they're more likely to stay alive and get into your colon. I think that's how it goes, but I may be wrong. So once you've added your prebiotics, your probiotics, your gut microbiome will be able to flourish. And aside from these fermented foods, you're going to want to supplement that with lots of vegetables. So I think I heard a gastro talk about this as well. I think his name is Dr. Will. I'm not sure if he's a gastro though, but he talks a lot about gut health. He's a medical doctor as well. And he says the advice would be to eat roughly about 30 different types of plants per week. The more diverse the plants you give, the better your bacteria will flourish. The good bacteria, they can feed off these plants. So you want more colors, you want a wider diversity. So eat as many vegetables as you can and eat different types. The more colors, the better. And that's what they say, eat the rainbow of vegetables. Dried herbs, mixed herbs also count as well, so go for that. And that's pretty much gut microbiome in a nutshell, very quickly. Anything else? Oh, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to gut health for y'all is check your poops, okay? This is a habit that I've had for years, probably because I've had gut issues and stomach issues. So I always check my stool. I know it's maybe a bit TMI and a bit sensitive, but we need to talk more about poop and how important it is. And it was only until maybe the last couple of months have I actually started to have really good stool. Now, how do we know what stool is good? Check out the Bristol Stool Chart. So I believe it's from type 1 to 7, and there's different ranges. So type 1 is really hard, pretty much constipated, lots of ragged edges. And then there's also type 7, which is just complete water. So obviously both ends are no good. And I was more on the looser side. So, and I never thought too much of it. I just thought, well, that's what it is. And I went to see a doctor, my family doctor, and he said, oh, well, it's IBS. And that's it, nothing else. I wasn't told anything else. So now that I've been working on my gut health, I would highly recommend checking your stools. And the goal is to get to a type 4, which is a sausage-like poop that has no raggedy edges and is smooth. That's when you know, your colon health is probably pretty good. So if you already have poops like that, well done. Awesome. Keep going and keep doing what you're doing. If you don't, you should probably try and work on it. Don't just accept it, because that's what I did for many years. And I realized, my health was not so good because of all those issues. Now that I've dialed down on my gut health, bar this gut flare up, I've not been ill for 7 months now, which is the longest streak I've had in years, okay? And I can really chalk that up to not just gut health, nutrition, but also sleep. And those two things are tied together as well. When you have poor sleep, it's gonna affect your gut health. When you have poor gut health, that's gonna affect your sleep. So that's why it's really important to be more holistic about it. It's not just one thing. Get everything fixed, sorted, and yeah, you're gonna feel a lot better. I promise y'all, mentally and physically. And anything else? Last thing, supplements. I actually watched a quick short, and they were quick firing questions to a gastroenterologist. And it was really helpful for me, because they would ask, hey, is this supplement good? Is that supplement good? And the two that stood out were Synbiotics, which is something new I learned. Turns out there's a supplement that combines prebiotics and probiotics. So Synbiotics do that. So I recently just ordered one, rated very highly compared to just prebiotics and probiotics. Supposedly you need both for them to flourish. So that's why it's important to not only eat your fermented foods, but also get in your fiber. And then the other one is fiber supplements. So you can go for Psyllium Husk. Now, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a dietitian or nutritionist, so don't take this advice as medical advice. But from my experience, using Psyllium Husk is really good. So I take that as a supplement as well to increase my fiber intake. And before I end this, anything else I want to talk about? Sorry, I know I'm kind of jumping from here and there, but yeah, I hope it's still useful. One more thing. Yes. For those who want to lose weight, eating fiber is a great way to help with that as well, because it suppresses your appetite quite a bit. So if you're eating enough fiber, you're going to find that you're not actually really craving that much other foods, because fiber is very filling. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend taking a lot of fiber and eating more fiber. If there's one superfood that will help you lose weight, be healthier and whatnot, it is fiber. So yeah, that's the video. I know I jumped around quite a bit, but I hope the knowledge has been helpful. And I'm sure I'll be talking a lot more about gut health as we go. But yeah, that's the video for today. Great to speak to y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.